be delivered on.
Okay, but would you also then agree to put in a rider of how you will fund it? That's what the plea actually is demanding. You make those promises, but give us some sort of a sense as to the voter how you'll fund that scheme.
Shivani, there are already existing laws in the country of fiscal management laws. There are enough laws in the country which will not allow you, to be fiscally imprudent. And that is the reason why you have bodies like CAG to make sure that governments don't fall into debt trap. They don't overborrow. The only government which is falling into a debt trap is the central government. The government of India is
well, that's not true. Let's not make singularly partisan statement. Let's accept that for many states this is an issue. Shazia, Ilmi, please come in, then I'll go across to Karthik. Will you be able to bring in Shazia, will you be able to bring all parties together? Will you consider an all-party meet and bring out some consensus? Because
I heard
otherwise
the most
it cannot
convoluted
happen.
Explanation, and one that really didn't make any sense, which is full of ironies and paradoxes. So by the preceding speaker. So on the one, she says that it should be aimed at everybody because we do not know how to target them. But I don't know. I think she it's the fact that she's living in a country called India, and whether it's the Aadhaar card or and direct benefit schemes have been there. DBT has been there for a while. So those could have been used and are being used, in fact, extensively. That's one. As for promises being part of the election manifesto and becoming a legal document, I think that should really be there, because I think the first party that will have to go, and the most shamefaced appearance will that be of my of the preceding speaker again, because out of 500 colleges, I think not even one new college has come up. Out of new hospitals, not even one new hospital. Out of 2,000 new schools, in the promise of that, just more classrooms, far more expensive classrooms, again costing the exchequer a lot and thereby the taxpayers a lot, but no explanation whatsoever. Again, about electoral literacy and going out. The one thing we did when I was part of Aam Aadmi Party, when we formed the party, I was a co-founder, and before that part of the Anna Hazare movement, was we wanted to tell the voters, and this was what Arvind Kejriwal stood for along with others, was asking the voters as to what they want. But surely they should know as to what the extra money that will be used from their pockets. Actually, it is not coming as a subsidy with Arvind Kejriwal's photo. That is actually coming from the state exchequer. One,
everything comes from the state exchequer. Shazia, that's not a debate. Everything comes from the state exchequer, and in a way, citizens are funding everything.
That is the debate. That is the debate.
How should these subsidies be targeted is the question. What is welfare and what is freebie is the question.
No, but because if the state exchequer would continue to be used to subsidize certain political parties' politics, what will happen to the economy? That is the debate.
No, sure. But according to you, why is your government schemes welfare?
You will realize
Reenaji, one by one. Reenaji, one by one. Shazia hasn't spoken. Let me give her adequate time.
Nothing is really free.
The question, obviously nothing is free. The question is, how can the BJP say that what you do is welfare, but what others are doing is free?
I'll tell you. There's a very clear distinction. When you give 1,000 rupees to every woman in Punjab, as they promised, knowing very well what is the condition of the fiscal debt of Punjab and the financial distress of Punjab, and still promise that, they have not gone to the voters and told them that this is what is the extra cost will cost to each voter, then that is complete travesty and cheating the people and trying to bribe them. And that is indeed a freebie as compared to an Ayushman Bharat, for which there is a budgetary allocation, as opposed to the ration program, for which, because of which 80 crores of Indians have been, have been able to get 2 square meals a day, despite the epidemic and the unemployment that ensued. So those are budgetary allocations. Okay. Those are prudent policies.
But why did the BJP then ape some of the promises that the Aam Aadmi Party made in elections? Why did you ape them? Shazia? Shazia Ilmi, can you hear me? Okay. Karthik, I'll come to you. What is the best way to solve this? Because political parties have their own vested interest to not really come to even on a table, sorry, Kishore, they have their vested interest to not even come to a table. I don't think they'll see eye to eye on this. There's too much riding as far as elections are concerned. What is the best way to go for this? Is the panel the best way? Who can mandate some control over this?
Okay, first of all, a lot has been spoken about Tamil Nadu from where I hail.
Yes.
I would very candidly disagree with Mr. Saravanan and the other panelists also from the BJP for a very simple reason that no party in India has any locus standi to speak about freebie. Let me first tell you, right from the central government to the state government, every single government has been following this culture. So let's not eliminate party A and party B. Every single party does it. Now, coming to the point of finances, I'm a financial consultant. I have enough understanding of numbers to speak here. Let me tell you the deteriorating state of the state government's finances. See, as far as the 2003 Fiscal Management and Budget Act, okay, which was supposed to have some controls, there seem to be no controls. And if you look at the last 1 decade or maybe 1.5 decades, the fiscal prudence has only gone down. The graph has been deteriorating and the expenditure to the revenue receipts has been reducing. States like Punjab have gone to the dogs in terms of the gross debt to the GSDP. And if you look at the debt to the GSDP ratio, there are states which are in a horrible state. And as you mentioned, the power finance companies, the discoms are having a terrible issue.
Yeah.
Now, I would agree on one thing. The Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. M.K. Stalin, did ask the court through the party that can be defined. As one of the panelists, the advocate gentleman did tell that we need to define. But let me tell you, as far as the court is concerned, defining freebie is going to be extremely difficult because everybody, whether it is the right, left, center, everybody is hiding behind some cover. Right. And what is more important is here to understand that how do you define freebie as one which is promised before the election? Now, all the panelists here, whether it was BJP, whether it was Mr. Saravanan, were all speaking that there are welfare happening before. Yes, I do agree there are certain welfares happening and it's the government's responsibility to uplift the socially backward people, but not at the cost where your fiscal prudence is going for a 6. Tell me which state can claim that the last 10 years, my fiscal discipline has improved and we are on a northward trajectory in terms of improving. Okay. Not a single state.
No,
and
but
what is
Kishore,
happening is
let's come to
more and more freebie.
Let's come to the, I think